How are you doing, guys? SmartEntity here. Today we're going to quickly talk about the 1000 cuts tactical alert that is happening on PC right now. So when I upload this video, you still have a couple days of doing this, so hopefully this video will give you guys some tips and hints to help you out. But to be honest with you, it's a pretty damn easy tactical alert, and it's not something you want to play repeatedly because there aren't any good rewards. Alrighty, so the way it works is there are 4 missions. The first mission is a low-level survival, second mission low-level mobile defense, third level a sort of mid-level assassination against the Guernier Manic, and the final mission, which is what you're seeing here, is a 10-minute survival against, again, fairly low-level enemies. So for a tactical alert, you are facing about level 30 to 50 enemies. It's pretty basic. Now, after you do your first 3 missions, you get a Catalyst blueprint, Reactor blueprint, and a Machete blueprint. You get 1 blueprint after each mission, and after your 4th mission, you get the newest installation to the latest Stratus envelope. Now, all these missions are against Guernier type enemies, so the Warframe you want to use is definitely Ash Prime. And the goal of this particular tactical alert, as far as the devs are concerned, is they're basically trying to get you to use melee weapons. Now, one thing they did do here better than what they've done previously with previous tactical alerts, as well as authority missions that require only melee weapon, is they limited the maximum power bank you can have to 25. So if you think about authority missions where it's melee only, no one really cares, right? Because for Guernier, you use Ash with Bladestorm, and with Corpus, you use Mag with Shield Polarized. But in this particular tactical alert, because they limited energy, you are forced to use melee at times. However, if you do use, for example, obviously Ash Prime versus Guernier, you use a 1 from top fleeting, 1 from top streamline, you get a 75% energy efficiency, 25 energy is still enough to cast your Bladestorm. Now, if you look at this particular mission, which is survival, you do get a lot of enemy spawns. And if you have, for example, a Necros that desecrates, if you have a Syndicate weapon that gives you energy, and or if you use energy pass, you can pretty much still spam Bladestorm non-stop. Now in this particular mission, there's a Necros. We obviously aren't using energy pass, and as you can see, I'm pretty much still spamming Bladestorm 90% of the time. Now Bladestorm is pretty much ideal to use in this particular mission because the enemies are still at that sort of mid-level range where Bladestorm can wipe them out very fast. In addition, you are pretty much invulnerable while in Bladestorm, so it works out pretty nicely. Now, one of the issues with Warframe is at a stage where the game allows the player to be so overpowered that any reasonable limitation put on the players are still so damn easy that no one cares. And by reasonable, I mean, you know, what they're doing here. So melee only, limit power to 25 max energy. For example, they could obviously make it harder and give you, for example, say 1 HP, but then people just complain, oh, it's impossible, which, to be fair, pretty much is impossible. But yeah, so any reasonable limitation put on the game, it's gonna be, you know, so easy because the game is so overpowered. And the fact that Warframe as a game have to accommodate for every single player. So obviously in this game we have a rank 4 player, so the game got to accommodate for him or her, and also sort of max 3 rank 21 players. Where obviously if a rank 4 player can do it, a max 3 rank 21 player should be able to do it as well. Now one way they can obviously improve this is have mastery rank filter, and by that I mean obviously make Master Rank 21 players be matched with only, for example, Master Rank 21 players. Now, to be fair, Warframe is a PvE game, so there's a level of community cooperation, so that filter should be able to be toggled on or off. For example, a player should be able to choose whether they want to be matched with anyone in public, or only with Master Rank players of the same rank. And I do believe, for example, if we do have a Master Rank filter where Master Rank 21 players are only matched with Master Rank 21 players, then they can make the game incredibly difficult and still make it quite fair and challenging. Because obviously, you know, 4 Master Rank 21 players can do 1 level of difficulty, whereas you got 1 Master Rank 21 player versus, say, 3 Rank 2 players. It's just, you know, it's just kind of matched. Not because Master Rank 21 players are better. It's just because they've been spending so much time in the game, they got the equipment, they got the mods, and they are for all intents and purposes, stronger. Now, this particular tactical alert, unlike the previous one, is not worth playing hands down. So to give you guys a quick look at the rewards, now I've got this from Reddit, and by the way guys, anytime you want the latest gossip, exploit, bug, and whatnot, look at Reddit, it's awesome. Now this is actually the first, or the top post on Reddit right now. So as far as the rewards goes, for this you can get 5 times 05 fusion, that is a common reward at 75.88%. You can get each of the lenses, focus lens at 0.29%. Forma 0.29%, Excellence Adapter 0.29%, and each of the electricity starters, so do stat mods, are at 5.53%. So that's your Voltaic Strike, Jolt, High Voltage, as well as Shell Shock. Now I would have perhaps liked to see some of the, for example, slash, puncture, impact mods on here. Maybe that'll probably make it more worthwhile playing, but because it's just the electricity dual stat mods, it's just not worth playing. You're better off playing a Hive Sabotage than spending 10 minutes on this with only a 5.53% drop chance. Alrighty, so I guess a bit of a hint and tip section now. So because we're facing Guinea at a reasonable level, Ash with Blade Storm is definitely the way to go. Now I am using my specialized build Ash Prime that I uploaded a couple of weeks ago, so definitely check that out if you haven't. It's pretty effective, and it's, I was saying, I've been pretty much spamming Blade Storm all game long. The Scanner Prime build is pretty basic. I would say the key mod to put on Scanner Prime would be your Bright Purity, so the Syndicate mod. Now the enemies are again at a mid-level, so not that high, and the Syndicate 1000 damage discharge AoE is doing pretty decent damage, especially in the lower levels, and even at this point, so against level 30 to 50 enemies, it's still contributing a lot. Now, look, quick few guys have been asking me recently, again, if I'm going to be releasing regular trade video updates and whatnot. I probably won't do complete trade guide anytime soon because there have been very few changes. I think the main reason is because especially with rank 10s, they've been around for so long, prices have pretty much stabilized at a very low rate. And even a lot of the other stuff, even newer stuff, for example, even when Barracuda released new mods, prices have kind of stabilized because there has been a lot of occasions where Barracuda released new mods and people kind of have a pretty basic idea of the prices. Obviously, the main change to trading prices recently are the impact mods, because Barracuda just started showing them on his market, and the puncture mods got reduced price again as well because the recent tactical alert released those. So yeah, a lot of your potentially previously high price mods have decreased. So I might do a slight sort of smart talk trade update, but I won't do a complete update on the trade anytime soon. Alrighty, so we're towards the last minute. Now, when you are sort of at the last minute, especially, you definitely don't want to stick around and just mess around. You want to look for that extract, so when you hit the 0 second, you can just extract immediately.
Additional life support has arrived.
Now, Scanner Prime by no means is the single most powerful weapon in the game. However, in my opinion, for my gameplay purpose, it is the most powerful just because you can use that Bright Purity mod. So when you use Excalibur with Exalted Blade, it kind of makes it better than any other weapon, as good as the Dual Cleaver's Prisma, just because it can use a Syndicate mod as well that gives 100% boost to base damage. Obviously, the Sinnoh Prime is another top tier melee weapon, as well as a newly released Nakana Prime. Alrighty, so just quickly jump out and have a quick look at the build and the most recent installation to the Stratus Emblem. And by the way, guys, so so just to prove, so Ash Prime 65%. Obviously, I'm facing enemies with guys that aren't as high ranked as I am, but still 65% in a 4-player squad is not bad. 4 or 9 enemies. The other thing I was just gonna say is, by the way, we are obviously having double resource weekend right now, so definitely go farm your, I guess, neurosensors, neurons, and quartic. Those are pretty much, I would say, the main resource that are hard to get these days. So yeah, I guess the main hint in this game, use a build like this, high on strength, don't worry about duration, and yeah, you want to use a Syndicate mod like Bright Purity on there just so you get that AoE. It just makes life a lot easier because you aren't facing enemies that higher level. Alright guys, and there we have the latest installations to the Stratus Emblem. Alright guys, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Cheers.